Finally tonight, the growing dispute over whether the United States should declare that Mexico is a good ally in the war against drugs. Charles Krause has the story.
2 months ago, retired General Barry McCaffrey, director of the White House Office on Drug Policy, welcomed Mexico's Attorney General and the head of its anti-drug program, General Jesus Gutierrez Rebollo, to Washington. At a press conference, General McCaffrey praised General Gutierrez.
General Gutierrez Rebollo has a reputation of being an honest man who is a no-nonsense field commander of the Mexican Army. He's now been sent to bring to the police force the same kind of aggressiveness and reputation he had in uniform.
But last week, General Gutierrez was arrested on charges of taking money from drug traffickers. Then that news was followed by reports that other high-level Mexicans, including members of the family of Mexico's former president, Carlos Salinas, were also involved in drug trafficking and corruption. Meanwhile, top-level administration officials acknowledged that General Gutierrez may have been given sensitive intelligence that could jeopardize undercover agents and ongoing investigations.
We're doing an assessment of whether there was any compromise to information and briefings we gave to General Gutierrez, and that's not completed yet.
Each year, the president must certify by March 1st which countries are helpful to the United States fighting drugs and which are not. Those countries, like Colombia, that are found to be uncooperative are decertified and subject to economic sanctions. Yesterday, House Minority Leader Democrat Richard Gephardt joined California's Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, urging that President Clinton decertify Mexico.
There is simply no justification for certifying Mexico as an ally in this fight.
The two Democrats said that if the administration does certify Mexico, they would introduce legislation to roll back the president's decision. In response, Mexico's foreign minister, Jose Angel Gurria, said yesterday that decertification would jeopardize Mexico's relationship with the United States.
I think it would be a slap in the face to an ally.
The deadline for the administration's decision on certification is Saturday, but it could come as early as tomorrow. With us now is Senator Feinstein. Senator, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're leading the fight to decertify Mexico. Tell me why.
Well, the reason is, and I've followed this situation closely now for several years, it is my belief that things have never been worse on the border. We have the DEA Administrator, Thomas Constantine, making a statement in his testimony before a House committee that there is virtually no civilian law enforcement agency in Mexico that can be entirely trusted to carry out this mission. I have talked extensively with law enforcement. I think things on our border have never been worse. Cocaine seizures are less than they were in 1993. And we have the cartels really moving with abandon, essentially bribing those who they can and killing those that they can't. You've had an unprecedented number of law enforcement officers, prosecutors, and others, frankly, just plain assassinated. So I think there is a very serious problem on the border, and I regret it very much, but tonight I'm sending a letter to the President urging decertification. This letter is signed by 40 United States senators, and there are some that did not sign it that have written their own communications. So we are very close to a majority in the Senate really urging decertification. We also state in the letter, and this is most important, that because of the vital national interest, the trade interests, the fact that we want to work with our ally, our friend, our neighbor, that a waiver should be contemplated by the President, and hopefully that will be the procedure that he will follow.
In another letter that you wrote earlier this week to President Clinton, you said that you don't believe that the current Mexican government has the political will to deal with the drug traffickers in Mexico. Are you suggesting that the President of Mexico, Mr. Zedillo, is too weak, uninterested, or is he too part of the problem?
No, I'm not at all. I have no evidence from anyone or any authority that President Zedillo is in any way involved. I do know this, that when you can have a known cartel leader with an extradition request pending from the United States for his extradition to the United States to face drug charges, who gives an interview to the Washington Post and says, quote, "I go to banks, offices, just like any Mexican. Every day I pass by roadblocks, police, soldiers, and there are no problems. I'm in the streets all the time. How can they not find me? Because they are not looking for me." That is a direct quote. And so I would have to say, why is this man not arrested and extradited? And I just checked with the Department of Justice this afternoon, so I'm sure what I'm about to say is correct, and that is that there has not been one extradition of a Mexican national on drug-related charges.
Why
Now, that is not the action of a friend, a neighbor, and an ally that one should prize. Additionally, the Binational Task Force for Narcotics, which is known as the Bilateral Border Task Force, I was just informed by DEA, they have been told that they cannot wear sidearms. Our people cannot wear sidearms to protect themselves in Mexico.
Senator,
and so
if
they've been withdrawn.
If I may, quickly, as you know, the Mexicans say the Mexican government has written you and has said publicly they are doing all they can. What do you hope to achieve? What will decertification achieve if the goal is to increase cooperation?
Well, let me be very candid. What I hope decertification and a waiver will do, because is, first of all, there will be no trade sanctions, but secondly, it will hopefully give the government leverage. There are many, many, many honest people in leadership positions. I hope it will give them leverage to do the things they need to do. And let me say what I think they are. One is extradite those against whom there are extradition requests and warrants pending. Two, a money laundering law has been passed. It has not been implemented. Bank regulations need to be changed. Change them. And finally, make a major strike at these big cartels. What I am told by the Drug Enforcement Administration is that the drug cartels of Mexico today are the largest single organized criminal syndicates in the hemisphere. And not only are they operating in Mexico, but they have permeated their work in the United States, across our border and in our big city. I was told today that one of the Mexican cartels effectively controls cocaine distribution in Los Angeles. I can't just sit by and let that happen. I have to do something representing California.
Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now the Mexican perspective. Joining us is Jesus Silva Herzog, the Mexican ambassador to the United States. Mr. Ambassador, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You've heard Senator Feinstein. She says that if the United States decertifies your country, that will give your government leverage to fight harder against the drug traffickers. Do you think she's correct?
Well, let me first of all tell you that I am happy to participate in this program and to participate with Senator Feinstein, a senator that I respect very much. I think it would be quite difficult for Mexican law enforcers to really increase cooperation and to receive that leverage when you receive more or less a slap in the face. We certainly believe that the word in this problem of drug trafficking is cooperation. And in my opinion, and it is not only my opinion, but the real facts, the degree of cooperation that Mexico and the United States had obtained during the last 12 months, it's almost without precedent. We established a bilateral group. It's the so-called the high-level contact group. They have met 3 times in plenary sessions. They have established several working groups to analyze the different aspects of the drug problem. And definitely, I believe that through this joint analysis, the cooperation has reached an unprecedented level. The seizures, arrest, eradication during 1996 was larger than in 1995, significantly larger. We have extradited a good number of unattended requests from the U.S. authorities, including, and I'm sorry to disagree with the senator, but we have extradited 2 Mexicans nationals last year. During the first 7 weeks of 1997, we have extradited an additional 6 persons. So it's a process that is going on, and that I think Mexico is responding very clearly to something that we think that it's a reasonable request. The U.S. also has extradited to Mexico, as a matter of fact, basically the same number that we have extradited.
What about the senator's point, though, that drug seizures, cocaine, for example, less last year than 3 years ago?
That in 1993, but she didn't mention that they are quite larger than in 1994, than in 1995, and that they are going to be even bigger this year.
What about the point that, her point, that the political will, that your government is unable to deal with the problem, that there may be people like President Cedillo who are committed to it, but that it seems to be beyond their control?
I think there is no question whatsoever of the political will of the government of Mexico and all the agencies that have to do with this problem to cooperate with the United States and to do as much as we can in this terrible problem that we face together. It's quite uninteresting, but I read this morning a proposal by a very respectful group from California that is calling for the desertification of California and of Arizona because of the legalization of the consumption of marijuana. It's quite an interesting thing. We are worried about that legalization because it's an additional magnet for the marijuana import from Mexico and for the cultivation of marijuana in the state of California.
All right, but at the same time, the DEA, I believe, estimates that probably 2/3 of all the cocaine, all the crack, all of the amphetamines that come into this country come in through your country. Clearly, there is a problem.
Absolutely. There is no question that there is a problem. That's why we are sitting here. But why there was no mention whatsoever about consumption, about the demand problem? Once the drug gets into the U.S. border, what happens? Is the Los Angeles police or the San Francisco police able to stop the drug in their areas and stop it to come up north? I think we are together in this problem, and we have to work together, not with finger pointing, but through cooperation.
You are a man who is very well connected in this town, and I'm wondering what you sense. What do you think? Will the president decertify Mexico?
If the analysis is an objective one, and we look into what we have done and what we have achieved together, I think there is going to be a recognition of the Mexican effort. We have had a terrible blow with the General Gutierrez Rebollo. It has been a terrible thing for Mexicans. It has been a shame. But we think that that problem, even it's really very tragic, shouldn't overshadow the accomplishments that we have made.
Mr. Ambassador, our time is up, and I want to thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Por aquel lado hay unas plantas que estaban floreadas de armacones. No, aquí en este.
Pásale, pásale.
Si hay que ir a otro.
No, y es que no depende con mucho computador,
Si tuviéramos que trabajar con con más agentes de la DEA y que ellos tuvieran que salir a trabajar con ustedes más seguido, ¿para ustedes sería una bronca o creen que eso se podría cubrir?
No lo creo, el marco legal en el que trabajamos en la Procuraduría General de la República está bien preciso respecto a la participación de agentes. Bueno, intercambiamos información y tecnología y nada más.
No, la estadística lo dice todo, ¿no? Tenemos, sobrepasamos lo que fueron otros años con menos equipo y digo, la misma estadística lo dice todo, ¿no? No se puede, no hay palabra, ¿no? Pero nosotros estamos cumpliendo con el trabajo, lo está demostrando los números, esta lucha es a diario, nuestro equipo no para, no hay sábados, no hay domingos.
¿Qué opinión tendrías de tener que salir con 3 o 4 cuates de la DEA que te estén vigilando, ver cómo hacen las cosas?
No, nosotros no tenemos presión, nosotros no tenemos presión. Y
no, pero si se diera, digo, es el gobierno mexicano que tiene la presión, si se diera eso, ¿qué tan desagradable?
No lo podemos hacer, no es necesario que nos vengan a estar viendo, ¿no? Aquí hay gente capacitada para hacer esto y no creo que haya necesidad, pero esto lo deciden otras personas, ¿no?
Te digo, pero para ti sería triste que te tuvieran que mandar a gringos para estarte vigilando.
Si es necesario hacerlo así, pues nosotros estamos a acatar las instrucciones que nos den la superioridad, estamos para trabajar.
De hecho.
Entra de campamento.
Súpralo.
Pase, pase. Para que salga. Sí, toda esa línea.
Tócale el agua, güey.
A ver, recoge ese motor.
A ver. Un poquito. Quiero un almácigo. ¿Qué va a ser?
tubo como ese tubo, pero con ese traen el agua por gravedad. Entonces aquí pueden cosechar todo el año. O sea, cortan, siguen regando, vuelven a arreglar la tierra, siembran y vuelven a cosechar cada y cuando.
¿Y cuánto tiempo entre
por ejemplo, en este
semillar
clima,
y cosechar?
En este clima, pues es bajo, no es caliente la tierra, la temperatura, el ambiente pues le ayuda. De la breve tarda 2 meses y medio. De mota de otro pues puede tardar hasta 3, 4 meses. En la sierra tarda 5 meses, 4 o 5 meses porque es más frío el clima. O sea, varía pues. Hay muchos factores que influyen.
¿Qué condiciones quiere este marihuana?
Primero que nada, tierra buena, ¿no? El clima caliente.
Ya vas a tener. No traía escritor. No, no. Voy. Primero, claro, sí, todo es.
Este sí ya le cortaron, este ya se llevaron la mitad. A esto es lo que le decía Ellen. Esto sí es una cortada, ¿no? Sí. No aquel que decía que lo habían cortado. Como esta planta, mire. Aquí le cortaron la cola, mire. A esta planta le cortaron la cola y dejaron los demás, pero aquella no tiene ningún corte. Todos puros cortitos. Este le arrancan la hoja. Este le arrancan la hoja. Y lo bueno, se supone que esta es la cola. Ya. Como este ya se llevaron parte del plantío. O sea, cortan aquí, que viene siendo esto. Si cortaran esto. Quedan los tallos estos y esperan a que amacice. Que haga otra cola. Pero en sí, lo de eso es lo bueno. O sea, esto. Lo demás no sirve, todo esto no sirve, todo esto no sirve.
O sea, la hoja grandota.
No.
Rociales. Sí. Los baños para cuatro. Desde el aire, se pone un helicóptero y el otro.
Los árboles podemos ir como gusta. Sí, digo, esto sí. El trabajo es de ustedes.
No, estamos.
Sí, hay una muy buena. Sí, pero pura marihuana.
Eritrocina. Solo se da en la que tiene ese paralelo.
De este lado, porque el viento de todo viene de allá. El viento viene de allá y
Ahorita. ¿Dónde está? ¿Está bien aquí? ¿Aquí está bien para la pasada?
Norma Martínez. Photography said it's hard as much as you're right.
Thanks for saying
Nosotros somos los que...
But you know what, I like this more because I can look at my picture.
¿Quieres la dirección o ya la?
la PGR, la dirección. Reforma número 3.
Ya.
Podemos echar la mano. Porque también atendemos también a la prensa. No, pues toda esta gente manda para acá, ¿no? Pero algún día te puedo ofrecer algo. Claro, algún boletín de prensa que nos. O a ti te puedo ofrecer algo aquí y con mucho gusto.
Sus pogreñas esto, con los pelos sus engreñas, todas.
Y de este tamaño vale 6 toneladas. Sí, puede ser un poco menos.
Tan chiquitos.
Quisiera
todo esto es lo que se arranca. Es lo que va a quedar puro peso esto. El peso de esto es poco. Si se fijan esta planta, el peso es poquito.
eso es lo que le gusta al...
La parte resinosa es esta.
Le quitan la forroja, todo esto.
Después de la caída.
Cuando sale la flor, no pasan tantos días. Esta flor se le van a hacer. ¿Cómo es?
Mira, crece, destruye, vuelven a sembrarlo, hasta que se agote la piel. Quitas el elemento criminal, los no ilegales, de repente se convierte en eso. Es el hecho que está ilegal, que no se está permitido, sobre todo.
Está saliendo la leche, mira. Ya. ¿Sí me veo?
El día de ahí parece
No, sí, eso sí. No, eso es la como
el agua.
No me veo.
Eso es lo que pasa con las fichas.
A ver,
Es una hoja de... Pero esto es lo que...